Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren for those who don't know, and I make videos about life in Japan. Today's video is going to be part one of my journey back to Japan. If you guys don't know, I was stuck in the US for about 5 months outside of Japan because I took a trip to South Africa. South Africa decided to shut down, so I went to the US because there were no flights back to Japan. And I ended up getting stuck in the US because Japan shut their borders even to foreign residents. So I was in the US for 5 months with no way of getting back until the very end of July, when there's an announcement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Japan that foreigners who left before the ban, which I did, could go back into Japan. So that is where our story begins. I have a bunch of different clips kind of strung together of my time from when I found out I could go back to Japan all the way through till when I arrived back in my apartment. I hope you guys will find it helpful, and I wanted to come in here and pop in here for an introduction because it just kind of started a bit abruptly, and I wanted to kind of explain what you're going to be seeing in this video. This is kind of a special series, and also I am new kind of to vlogging. I wanted to just practice, and I thought that this would be a good time to practice my editing and stringing things together and just storytelling in general. I hope that some people will find this helpful, and it'll be good practice for me too. So let's roll the clips for part one. Today is July 29th, 2020, and the Japanese government, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has just announced the actual procedures for getting back to Japan. I don't know how this video and stuff is going to be playing out, but I wanted to try and document my journey. I woke up this morning to this announcement and I immediately contacted the consulate, and they responded back to me within about like 4 hours because it was like 8 a.m. that I contacted them. And I'm currently in Orlando, Florida. My visa status is International Relations and Specialist in Humanities visa, and I have a 5-year visa. And according to the Japanese government, I am eligible as of August 5th to go back into Japan. As I said, I contacted the consulate in Miami because I'm currently in Florida right now, and they said I was eligible, and now I have an appointment on Monday, so that would be August 3rd. As another piece of information, I have booked my flight. So as of right now, today, July 29th, 2020, my plan is to be back in Japan on August 13th. So leaving the US on August 12th, going through Atlanta to go to Haneda Airport. It looks like one of the biggest hurdles is going to be getting a COVID-19 PCR test within 72 hours of my flight departure. And that is one of the requirements. You have to show that to the immigration officers when you land in Japan. And then you will also be given a PCR test in Japan too, to make sure that you are negative. But even then you have to self-quarantine for 14 days. So another part of this journey is going to be figuring out how I get back from Tokyo to Osaka, because even if you test negative in Tokyo, you can't take public transportation, which means no domestic flights. So I'm probably either gonna have to rent a car or get somebody to pick me up or stay at a hotel for 14 days in Tokyo before I can get a flight or the Shinkansen or something back to Osaka. The reason why I'm only going into Tokyo and I can't go into Kansai or Osaka is because there are no direct flights as of right now, July 29th, going into Osaka from the United States. You have to transfer through either Narita or Haneda. And you can't take domestic transportation. You can't just transfer and go onto Osaka after that. So that's why I'm saying that I'm gonna have to figure out how to get back to Osaka. I have a changeable ticket. So if by any chance that the airlines open up to go into Kansai, that would be amazing, but I don't think that that's going to happen at this point. So it's why I booked my flight to go into Haneda, and I chose Haneda because Delta seems to have a really fast, like 17-hour flight from Orlando to Atlanta to Haneda. I am going to be going to the consulate to go get the paperwork on Monday, August 3rd, which I think that I just said a minute ago. So I'll also be documenting that and saying kind of what the process was. Apparently right now the turnaround time is going to be 3 days. I'm planning at the moment to go down on Monday, drop off the paperwork in Miami, drive back, and then when they say I can go pick the paperwork up, I'm gonna go drive back down to Miami and then come back. So they're all gonna be day trips because South Florida is still a hot spot for COVID, and I don't really wanna be sticking around there for much longer if I want a PCR test that is negative. Hey everyone, so today is now July 30th, and I have a couple of updates that have happened overnight. So number one is my family and I were researching ways to get the PCR test. Came to the conclusion that if I left on August 12th like I wanted to, I would have to get my PCR test 72 hours beforehand, which is on a Sunday. And we doubt that like getting a test 72 hours before on a Sunday would be viable. So we had to change my flight now from August 12th to now August 14th. My parents are going to be calling a special hotline, like health hotline that they have access to, and we're hoping that they're going to be able to help me get into a doctor in order to get a PCR test that the results can come back within 72 hours. So I'm crossing my fingers and I'm hoping that something will pull through. According to the piece of paper that Japan is requiring everybody to have, you could take the saliva or you can take the nose swab test, but it has to be a PCR test. Hey guys, so it has been a few days since I have updated you guys on what has been happening, and now it is August 2nd, Sunday, August 2nd. I think where I left you guys off was that my parents were going to be calling this like health hotline that they have called HealthNet, and they did, and they were helpful, and they got me in contact with a travel clinic here in Orlando called Passport Health. I have a appointment booked with them for August 11th, and they say that they can turn it around within the time that I need it, so that's for a PCR test. And then yesterday I was looking on the Return to Japan Support Facebook group, and some people were saying that if you look into the special form, you can have a antigen test, and it's still a nasal swab one. So there is a place around the corner from me called Centricare, Advent Health Centricare, that does these 15-minute turnaround antigen tests. I think that that's going to be acceptable. So as of right now, I'm going to be taking two tests, the PCR one at Passport Health, and then the antigen test at Advent Health, the Centricare place, and they're both going to be on the 11th. We might be looking into some other options too. My mom is going to be going to her primary care specialist, because that's the other thing. I've been calling around to some people here in Orlando, and they basically said that the best way to go about it is to get a doctor's order, didn't go straight to a lab to get it done. So my mom's going to be talking to her primary care physician on Wednesday when she goes, and she is going to see if they can get me into there and also get me a test ordered. So we're having a couple different options right now, and I have a call with the nurse at Passport Health on Tuesday to kind of discuss if they can get my form signed and stuff like that. So this is looking promising. And then, as I said, tomorrow I'm going down to the Miami consulate to go and get my letter, the special re-entry permission letter. I've been so stressed out that I decided to go and binge watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood for the past like 2 days, and it has been the best therapy that I needed. If you guys don't know, Fullmetal Alchemist is like my favorite anime and manga ever, and it just kind of gives me a little bit of Japan, and also like I just love the storyline and stuff. So I binge watched that, and I feel a lot better now. It is now what, like 6:30 on Sunday, and yeah, I will update you guys for next time. Bye. Good morning. It is now Monday, August 3rd, and it is around 6 a.m. I have a 10:30 appointment at the Japan consulate in Miami, and it takes about 3.5 to 4 hours to drive down there. I have some paperwork I need to be bringing with me today. So one of them is the application for the letter of confirmation of re-entering. And I have my filled out one over there. I just have this one as an extra just in case, because Japan's really picky about that kind of stuff. Flight information in case they need that. And then I have some confirmations here for when I'm getting my coronavirus test at the bottom, so that they have everything covered. They didn't ask for those two things. They only asked for this, my resident card, my passport, and the application form. We had a quick stop at Dunkin' Donuts, and now we are on our way southbound again. Officially made it to Miami. we're down the street from the Consulate General of Japan in Miami, and we're about 30 minutes early, which is good. We left a little bit, about an hour earlier than we should have, just in case there was traffic coming to Miami and stuff, but everything was pretty clear. I am not really nervous, I'm just ready to get this over with, and hopefully it'll go pretty smoothly going inside the consulate and stuff. So I'm gonna go in about 10 minutes before my appointment, just in case there's any security. Okay, found the correct building. So this is, woo, this is psychedelic. $3,200. Guess it's 32. Okay, I made it. I'm done with the appointment. They took my paperwork. I was sitting there, it only took about 15 minutes or so. They will call me when the paperwork's ready, so I'm hoping it's going to be later this week. And I will go down and pick it up after I make an appointment. It was quite smooth. I had to put all of my electronics into a little cubby thingy. And that was about it. Heading back to the car and seeing my mom. Hey guys, so update time. It is now August 5th, and yesterday I had a phone call with one of the nurses at Passport Health, which is the clinic that I'm going to be going to for one of my COVID tests. And she was super nice, and she said that we probably would be able to get it within the, I guess, kind of a little over 48-hour period, because I have to take the test on Tuesday the 11th before my flight, or well, after my flight time passes. And then I have to have the results back on Thursday night so that I can board the plane on Friday morning. So she was so nice, and she changed my appointment from 2 p.m. until 9 a.m. on the same day, so that we could have the sample shipped out on the same day over to the lab, and we would have it back by Thursday. So I'm crossing my fingers that that's going to work. The second thing, which I think I mentioned before, was the antigen test. So I have another appointment the same day at 11:40 for an antigen COVID-19 test, which is a nasal swab as well. And those results come back in about 15 minutes. Oh, I also forgot to mention that today my mom went to her primary care physician and asked if she would be able to order a test for me. And unfortunately, the doctor came back and said no, that she even refers other people over to like a care spot or like some urgent care places, which the problem with that is, once again, the test results come back in like a week or more. That was kind of a bust, but at least I have two other options, so I think I am covered there. And in terms of the entry letter, I still have not heard anything back from the embassy. It is Wednesday, and I submitted the paperwork on Monday morning, so I'm hoping I'm going to be hearing something back on, well, tomorrow, and the very latest Friday, because I have to have an appointment to go pick it up, and the only time I could pick it up is either Monday or Wednesday, and I really need to go pick it up on Monday the latest, because I don't want to be driving down to Miami and doing that all the way on Wednesday, but I guess I will have to if they're not going to be giving me an appointment or letting me pick it up until Wednesday. The countdown begins. Tomorrow is going to be 1 week until I leave. After I get the confirmation letter in hand, I get approved and stuff, I'm going to have to book my hotel and my rental car, because I don't know if I've actually discussed my plan on what I'm planning on doing when I get to Japan. So that could be a whole nother like little different topic, because what I might do is break this video up between like pre-departure, what I'm doing now, and then post like getting like departure and then getting there and then my journey home and stuff like that. So that's today's update. Sorry for the long ramble. I will talk to you guys later. I am back at the Miami consulate. It is now Friday the 6th or 7th. I can't keep track of time. It's now Friday, and I am heading to the Miami consulate. I now know that I have to cut through this parking garage to go get there, so I'm excited. I finally get to pick up my letter. Back through the psychedelic room again. I was getting a little teary-eyed in the elevator. I have the letter, and I think everything is confirmed. I'm going back home next week. I can't believe it. I don't know why I'm getting so emotional, but it's been 5 months. I'm so happy I get to go home. Anyway, my mom's waiting for me. We're gonna turn around and go straight back home to Orlando. I'll talk to you guys later. I am back from Miami now, and I kind of wanted to share with you what the letter actually says, but to be honest, I'm not sure if I'm actually allowed to say the entire thing, so I'm just gonna say a gist of what it is. Basically, it has the Consulate General of Miami, their information, and it looks like I'm only the second person that they have processed at the Miami consulate, and it basically says that they've confirmed my paperwork. That's it. Has the seal of the Miami consulate, and that's literally it, in Japanese and in English. I drove from Orlando to Miami, which is 4 hours one way, so I did that twice, like up and back twice. It's a total of 16 hours that my mom and I drove down to Miami. We literally drove down there, turned around, and came back both times. We did it today in about 7.5 hours, and I thought that that was really fast, and we only stopped like one time each way to get like some food or to stop for a restroom break or something like that. I don't really have much to complain about though, because I have the letter in hand now. All I have to do now is start to think about what's going to happen when I land in Japan now, which is a whole nother can of worms, which I kind of touched on yesterday. But for those who don't know, or just for your information to kind of repeat, you're not allowed to use domestic transportation when you get to Japan. Also, on top of that, I'm coming from the US, and there are no flights right now going from the US to Kansai International Airport because I live in Osaka. That kind of puts me in a tough position because I can't go to Osaka readily. So if I have to self-quarantine for 14 days and I'm not allowed to use public transportation, then what am I supposed to do? Public transportation means taxis, buses, domestic flights, Shinkansen, any type of like domestic public transportation I'm not allowed to take. So there's some private like chauffeur services and stuff, but those are way too expensive. So to solve that, I'm going to be staying at a hotel near Haneda Airport for 2 days, and then I'm going to rent a car and go to Osaka from there. Still haven't decided if I'm going to just stay overnight for 1 or 2 days, but I think it's going to be 2 days at this point because my boss basically told me that the timing that I am coming back is the very end of Obon, which is the summer holiday, like everyone's summer holiday basically in Japan. I don't really want to hit traffic, so I'm going to be landing on a Saturday. And then if I went the next day, it would be Sunday, which everyone's probably going to be coming back from their like family vacations and holidays and all that jazz. So he suggested that I go back on Monday, which is the 16th, I believe. So I think I'm going to be staying for 2 nights just to kind of avoid traffic and stuff like that. And from Tokyo to Osaka is about a 6-hour drive. And in terms of actually going through like immigration and customs and like getting the COVID test, I've heard cases of people going into Haneda Airport that it could be anywhere from 2 hours to 5 hours that you're going to be waiting, like from the time that you land until the time that you leave the airport. Whew, that's going to be really difficult. And I'll bring you guys along as much as I can, but I don't know if I'm allowed to show anything like through immigration or anything like that. So please don't kind of hold your breath for that. I might just have to debrief everything that happened in the hotel later on after like I take a shower and land and get like refreshed and all of that stuff. That is the reason why I'm staying overnight, because if I land at about 2 o'clock, I think, so if that's 2 hours, that would be about 4 o'clock or so. So that's okay. But if it's 5 hours, it's going to be 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7. It's going to be like 7 o'clock at night or so that I'm not going to be getting out of the airport. I'm definitely not going to be able to drive to Osaka that late. And also jet lag and all of that good stuff. I just came off of like a 16-hour like travel time from Orlando all the way to Japan is about 16, 17 hours, I think it is. Because there's only like an hour or 2 layover in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to be staying overnight for 1 or 2 nights at the hotel in Haneda Airport, hopefully. And then renting the car at the rental place at Haneda Airport. I'm going to reserve it ahead of time and stuff, so I just have to go to the counter and be like, I have a reservation, here you go. The rental car place is close to my apartment, so I can just walk to, like when I drop the rental car place, I can just walk straight back to my apartment, and I don't have to really deal with any public transportation or anything like that, which I am really lucky to be able to do. I'm anticipating it's going to be around $1,000 US in total between tolls, renting the car and 2 nights at a hotel are probably going to be close to $1,000, which if you think about it, I got like Jumon, or like basically 100,000 yen, which is the equivalent of $1,000 from the Japanese government. So I guess I could use that. If you guys didn't know, the Japanese government gave every household and every person about the equivalent of $1,000 in Japan for kind of like a stimulus check. And I applied for that back in May, and I got my money deposited into my bank account in June. I still have my company's bonus that I haven't got yet. So monetarily, I'm pretty covered. That is my update for today. It's kind of long and rambly, but I hope I will see you guys later. Bye.